killer. It's so good.
Is Summer out there somewhere? Has she been rescued? And she's in DCS.
You guys gotta remember, where is Fred right now? You know what I mean? And people gave all kinds of shit for like, or they were trying to act like law enforcement called him back in for his phone or something. Why do you think that? I mean, think about it, guys. All you have to think, it makes sense. What kind of information might Fred have got? I mean, he is in Knoxville, and he's at a place where a lot of people have run-ins that are, from the area and know drug dealers and people. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. He was in jail for 2 months longer than he had to be. So Fred says, in commenting to Dawn, looks like on YouTube somewhere, Dawn, what about your drug dealer in Knoxville? Remember you went and got $2,000 of crack to prove you didn't have to trade Summer for drugs, but you left still owing $3,000 more and took a prostitute you never returned? Then the same night you called CPS to come get the boys because they wasn't safe because of YouTubers. But what was really afraid of, maybe Playboy, because you didn't return the prostitute and money and tell the truth, Dawn. Remember you said Summer's hair was getting long, and TBI does know about this. TBI does know about this, Dawn. Why haven't you showed any emotions? Have you been visiting her twice a month? Just saying, Dawn, quit playing games. Summer justice is coming. Love you, baby girl. Fred had a couple people in his house who claimed to know Playboy. Fred is literally where he's at. It's crazy. He didn't ask to go to Knoxville, especially the side of town that he's on. It's right smack dab in the middle of where we believe Dawn and Andy would take off and go to all the time. It's crazy that he was just so happened to be placed in that's where they placed him at, of all places. And people were wondering why law enforcement took his phone. Well, they didn't take his phone, why he gave it to the law enforcement or why he went back to Hawkins County and stuff. Well, think about the area that Fred's been staying at for 5 months. We're pretty sure that we know where one of them is, Rihanna, and I think that there's several. There's a few, supposedly, but Cherry and Magnolia is definitely a hot spot. Definitely a hot spot. Yeah, we found out. Yeah, supposedly there's like 3 motels or something in a house. I mean. And supposedly has connections all over, so it is very dangerous in Knoxville, where this one of the main motels is, that they are selling drug that Dawn and Andy would go to for drugs, is right there off Magnolia. I'm not going to say exactly now. I mean, even though I put it out before, in Knoxville. It's a horrible area. And a few days ago, what's funny is Fred saw a red Subaru and it made him think, I wonder if that's Dawn. And then we hear Dawn and Candace are separated, and that Dawn's out on a coke binge. So I don't know. Do you think she's in Tennessee? You think Summer? Probably.
Was.
She was for a while, at least. Probably, yeah. According, if yeah, at least up till recently, we feel she was in Knoxville area.
I mean, that's part of the data I turned in. I mean, that's what people got to understand, you know.
When he went, and I talked about it yesterday, what had happened, or a couple days ago, what had happened when Fred went to transitional housing in Knoxville, and he had run into somebody that was there, you know, from the area that claimed to know Playboy and stuff. And then, you know, and that's why Fred talked to Hawkins County. And that's why he gave him his phone, because of his conversations with that person about who was claiming that they had seen Summer Wells even.
I mean, he even had recordings of supposedly Summer talking about Dawn and stuff, and actually Playboy talking and stuff too. And
that's what this guy claimed. Who knows? You know what I mean? So.
I mean, there was some of it was sent to my phone that was.
And this guy claimed that Playboy unalived his dad, and I did look up the background of this guy. This guy and his dad is deceased. As of 2022.
And see, the same guy was a Smith that was the.
Yeah, last name is Smith, just like
the recordings and stuff.
Andy's family. But, you know, Smith is such a common name.
But when we researched him, there was some Bedard to come up on it.
Yeah, Bernard was connected to him. I don't know. It's hard to look at. And I guess when law enforcement looked into this guy, when Fred went and turned in the info, they found him right away. And because Fred hadn't talked to him for a while, he was keeping a regular contact, and then he just disappeared. We're like, figured he got scared or something and backed out. Because I was like, are you sure this guy is going to go through with this? This is scary stuff. Like, he claims to be Vice Lord affiliated, and like.
But see, the next week after the data was turned in, they sent those special tactics and stuff in, and marshals from Texas and stuff to Knoxville and to certain.
There was a big bust, like right after that.
Yes, and they did get children and stuff.
We don't know if
that been released, you know.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, but
we don't know if she was.
Law enforcement doesn't give you. They don't tell you if your information ever helps with anything, unless you're like, there's reward money or something. I imagine, but well, gosh, look at even. No, they want to take the credit for everything.
That's one reason I think they're not offering reward for Summer now. You know, the TBI and stuff, because they've got pretty much everything they need.
They probably know what happened, or they're just trying to.
Matter of time. I mean, just a couple more puzzle pieces together. I think 2.
Yeah.
That's why I say 2 vehicles, you know, return my opinion.
The 2 vehicles, the white HHR.
Mm-hmm.
And
blue truck.
Dark blue truck. Did the truck have a back seat?
No.
So it was just
a
single cab, dark blue truck.
Windows
tinted.
Black. I mean, you couldn't see in other than through the windshield, and there's 2 people that was in.
Yeah, you could see that there was 2 people in there, but you couldn't see any details at all.
You couldn't tell whether they had men, women, or colored, or white, or whatnot. The windows were so tinted. You just see two people.
Fred was like, I don't want to get involved with your freaking
But he thought
shit.
if he could get me involved that way.
Yeah.
Joe, then that would shut me up, you see.
Yeah. Fred thinks that's how he was trying to get Fred involved, was get him to go with them to Knoxville. Because he was trying to get him in there, or get him to go to Knoxville with him to negotiate with them on a debt.
Yeah.
And then it was that same time that he called CPS.
That he knows exactly where she's at and going to be able to see her and stuff, you know?
Yeah, and then this, yep.
And then him mentioning later on her hair getting longer and stuff, and then that's when I find out about more about the Knoxville connection. And
yeah, and Jody Sue herself has, talked about the Knoxville connection. He knows that Dawn, Candace, Andy, Jody Sue, for sure. I'm trying to think who else. Their son know what happened.
What they done, my thought was they got Andy Jr. to bring her to the road and dropped her and handed her to Andy. Andy meant that blue vehicle right here, passed her off to it.
Okay, because you didn't think that he went all down there.
Andy didn't pass his cameras.
Yeah.
He had to pass it off right here if it was passed off. And then my thought is, well, from Dawn, Andy Jr., getting her from Dawn, bring her to the road, giving her to Andy, and then Andy bring her to the blue truck right here. And then this blue truck taking her to the white HHR.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a big transaction, just boom, 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 boom. And then if anybody's seen anything on the road, then if they say, well, we seen her get in this vehicle, and then they search that vehicle, she's not in it.
Mm-hmm.
You see that
they keep moving vehicles, it makes it harder to find her.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying, that's why they haven't figured out what happened to her, because there's so many people involved, and so many people whose lives or their lives are at stake, like their livelihood or their
the disappearance, but everything that happened the summer before.
Exactly.
That's what people's not understanding.
There was illegal shit going on before too, probably,
and that would make it why Dawn would want to get rid of her and stuff too beforehand, before the social services got a hold of her or whatever.
Yeah, so this is the turnaround that you think possibly that it would have had to been here, because he wasn't on cameras past this point.
No.
And that's a really good turnaround area.
I mean, we can just figure out who's about the blue truck and the white HHR. That would put a big step up in the case, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially that blue truck.
Yeah, the blue truck.
Well, both of them.
The blue truck was on camera, but it never showed the tag number nowhere. And the windows was so dark tinted and them up that you couldn't even see in. You could see that there was two people in it through the windshield, but you couldn't tell if who they was or not.
Right. So, and that's probably was on purpose, so nobody could see.
Most likely. But see, the white HHR was never on camera that I know of anywhere. But why did it sit there 3 days up to Summer going missing every day for 3 days? And why did Journey say that Candace was packing a suitcase for Summer 3 days or stuff?
That's fucking weird, don't you think, Andy? Why would Dawn ask Fred that? Huh. What kind of weird shit did you and Dawn have going on? See, you distracting us doesn't make it any better for you, because now we're freaking now we are talking about you. Before we were reviewing Killer Look's video, and it happened to talk about you or your son, you get mentioned, and we were just going to move on. But now you got our attention.
I just wondered if the Smith that was in Knoxville that got the information for me is even kin to Andy.
Yeah, the person that was turned into law enforcement that Fred was talking to, they were a Smith. But, you know, that's like a really common name. So,
I mean, it just makes you wonder. Really.
yeah. I mean, I feel like Andy's a very, very little part in this big, big thing.
And I feel like the reason his son went to the Army, they thought it was because he went to the Army, guys to get off of him.
Yeah. Well,
If he's saying he wasn't on the road on the 14th, Andy, who was the blue truck that followed you out then?
you mean on the 15th?
I mean, 15.
Oh, yeah, the day Summer went missing?
If he trying to say it was on the 14th, which I know it wasn't, who was the blue truck that followed him out? Who was the blue truck you met? Tell me that.
Easy to make an exchange at Greenville.
Boy, girl.
It would have been so easy to make an exchange at Greenville because it's this little gas station. And when I mean a little gas station, it has a lot of traffic going through it, but most traffic is Greyhound. The most traffic that goes there is Greyhound. You have an Ingles grocery store that is right next door that has its own gas station that more people would go to than this gas station, this convenience store. It would have been so easy to arrange for somebody to be there to meet Summer Wells and go to Knoxville. And that girl, I get exactly what you mean about Andy. I'm just not getting into that. I'm sticking focused on this. It would have been so easy to have somebody meet Summer and take Summer to Knoxville from Greenville if Greyhound was used, or even if they did a car-to-car exchange at this point. Nobody would have paid attention. Timed it right for a bus to be arriving. This is the route, if that is true, that Don Wells would have taken to get home.
Hour and 11 minutes.
Remember,
Well, according to where Summer, if you go look up one of the top kingpins, Vice Lord kingpins, lives over there on Ben Hill, off Ben Hill Road. According to, I mean, if you go Google it, Simpson Lane. That's right. That's the same road, basically the same as Ben Hill Road. You know. It's the same, basically. Wouldn't you say Simpson Lane and Ben Hill are like the same road, basically? I mean, they're not, but they are.
It used to be the same road. I mean, they didn't call it Simpson Lane or Simpson.
Yeah.
It was just little Patty Morlock on it.
Yeah, supposedly Dustin Overbay lives out there, and he's a big kingpin in the Vice Lords. But, you know, what's funny is, like, Fred thought the same thing, though, that you thought, like, that there, you know, he left. He didn't know that there was anything like that out there either.
I know his dad had property over there, but he was going to take them to live over there when he was getting ready to graduate high school or something, but I never really know he even stayed over there, you know. I hadn't seen him in years. I see John because he would pass 207 up a lot of time going to Ed's every day.
And Ed Redmond, he's the one that would brag about getting the hookers from Knoxville.
Getting prostitutes from Knoxville comes soon.
Which is very, very interesting, guys, when you put this all together, because you're thinking of all the ones that hang together and where Knoxville's coming up. Ed Redmond would brag about getting, you have heard him, he's bragged to you himself that he would get prostitutes bring back prostitutes from Knoxville.
Well, he would have prostitutes come see him from Knoxville. He didn't say whether he went and got them or what.
He would have
they would come and see him from Knoxville.
They would come and see him from Knoxville. And this is somebody who Don was working for the week before Summer went missing. And also is mentioned in this obituary of John Smith's recently. You guys are going to see all of these people tied together in this Knoxville connection. I can't help but it's not my fault that it's so noticeable and hard to not see. Like, Andy can get mad all he wants, but like, I don't know what to.
I'm just been trying to figure out how the Thompsons bought the property off of the Smiths, which was Andy's grandparents. The Thompsons bought before Andy moved in. And the Thompsons never had nothing to do with nobody in the holler until Ed Redmond moved in. Then them two come real close.
You mean they got real close, became really good friends?
It's weird how certain ones started hanging with each other.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Thompsons then started hanging with Ed, them two, and then
obviously in the Smiths and Redmonds,
John started hanging with them three there, and then Gully bought across from John's, and then them four started hanging together all the time, and then all of a sudden you'll see
Don's working for Redmond.
And then Andy comes in and starts hanging around that group too.
Mm-hmm.
And right at the end, it was like.
And then they're all come to find out.
Don and Andy right at the end, right before someone.
And what do they all have in common? It seems to be like a Knoxville connection, and it's weird.
Just like the Thompsons having all them children from different countries and stuff. I mean, foreign exchange students staying up there and stuff a lot, and then a couple times a year they'll have lots of children coming in from different places and camping and stuff up there.
Right.
And usually right now it's about the time they have a group of kids in there right before Halloween, like a week before Halloween.
Didn't Jody Sue say that Don and Andy went to Knoxville to prostitutes and had kids waiting in the car? I don't know about the kids waiting in the car part. I wonder why and how they all get tied to Knoxville. And then seeing this, guy who's got links to, this guy getting arrested in Rogersville. I think it was in 2020, named Marcus Washington, that had ties to vice lords and sex trafficking and stuff, and had warrants out in Knox County and from the U.S. Marshals. It's like, whoa. What was he doing in Rogersville? And is this how these people are all tied? Is there what's going on? A haunted hayride through the holler. That would be awesome, though.
Redmond does that. Ed Redmond does that. That's when the Thompsons have all them kids and stuff come up on and say they'll do that this week. Usually, the week before Halloween.
You think they're still doing something like that, even though
when I went to jail.
So they did one last year, a haunted hayride type thing.
Well, I went to jail and before I went to jail.
So I guess Fred says that that Ed Redmond already does something like that for those kids at Thompson's.
It's just
is it for the Thompsons?
Yeah, it's just for the Thompsons. They taken.
That's so weird.
He had
I
to
mean-
take a tractor and a wagon and a bunch of hay, and then load all the kids on it and ride around and stuff up and down the holler and different roads and stuff around the creek and stuff.
Jeremy is doing that. Beech Creek Entertainment stand up. Who's Jeremy?
I guess he's talking about Jeremy Light. It's only Jeremy I know. That was, the hay.
Or Jeremy,
the hay baler that burned. That is
Mhm.
the boy's hay baler that burnt brother. That's
no,
Rose,
James Lights.
Jamie's brother. See, there's two different Jamie Lights. There's Jamie Light from Light Holler Road, which is Frank Light's brother. And then there's a Jamie Light that lives on the lower end of the creek right beside the Van Hill Church. Which his dad's name CJ Light. He was part of his wife was part of the big drug bust in Hawkins County.
You think it's haunted out there in Ben Hill? I don't know. I loved walking out there at night.
They claim it's the homeyest holler they are, but I know they get more bloodshed on that holler than any other holler. So.
Because what did you say is important about Ben Hill Road? That the reason why it's got the most bloodshed of any road?
Don't understand now. Beech Creek, they consider it from in Sullivan County, where Mountain View starts, plumb down to, I'm trying to think, Goshen Valley, where Beech Creek comes on to Goshen Valley, and then turns into Beer Room. But see, back in the day, Beech Creek was just a mile stretch, and Ben Hill was right in the center. And they had east side and west side.
Oh, so it was a gang thing.
Yeah, more or less. I mean,
it's like a gang thing, like the east and the west.
Then they would set our gang up out there at the holler, you see, if they had any problem with the east side or west side. I mean, it kind of matches in with the data from Knoxville too. I mean.
All the Knoxville connection, Dawn and Andy Knoxville runs, and then also Ed, what's his name? Redmond. Yeah, he always bragged about all these hookers that he would get out of Knoxville, allegedly.
And he ran a lot of equipment out of Knoxville too.
Yeah, and Don Wells was doing work for him the week before Summer went missing.
He was one fell asleep at the wheel sitting at a red light. What got him caught? But the boy that went to Atlanta with him would always go to pick it up to Atlanta.
Oh, really? Yeah, I bet that is a big.
Where 90% of them goes in that area is Atlanta.
I bet. So it looks like she's watching this.
But Knoxville, the people out of Knoxville, they get a lot of theirs out of Atlanta and Detroit. That's the two connections that hits Knoxville.
Atlanta and Detroit, is that what you said? Atlanta and what was the other one?
Detroit.
Yeah. Common sense to me is like, okay, common sense, smoke, there's fire, right? Well, there's a whole hell of a lot of smoke with Andy Bernard, in my opinion.
I mean, the way he talked about Knoxville and stuff, I mean, I'm going to call him DJ because a lot of people don't know his last name, but when DJ was talking about...
Yeah, that was the name of the guy.
He was allowing that she was just supposed to be in help for rent or help until Dawn delivered the rest of the debt money. But when they called her in missing, then that changed everything. Then they weren't no really returning her, then,
Yeah, we're talking about with this guy at the transitions house that Fred stayed at was supposedly, we're kind of wondering if Summer, if Dawn thought, oh, we're gonna get Summer back, You know what I mean? Like it was supposed.
mean,
I kind of think it's what was supposed to be a temporary thing.
Somehow. They was on an interview when Don said something about, well, it can't, someone may not be alive or something other, and Candace looked at him like,
Yeah, like what the fuck?
yeah.
He's talking about the guy at Knoxville who had claimed to have known Playboy and be affiliated with the Vice Lords. He claimed that Dawn had been visiting Summer every 2 weeks or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what to fucking believe.
Did you message Dennis back?
Message who back?
Dennis.
No.
I thought I saw he messaged you.
He did. He won't read.
Yeah.
He'll have to wait. He'll be okay. He's one of them who wants stuff on demand. I mean, Hawkins County, they're not going to do nothing. It's out of their hands. They can't do nothing now. It's all up to TBI for summer skates.
Well, and also you got to think too, when Fred, and one thing that was witnessed by another person, it wasn't just Fred there, was when TBI, and also I was on the phone with him when he went and turned in that information about Knoxville. They had said something about how somehow information wasn't leaving Pruitt's desk.
Yeah, that's why that information from Knoxville, the investigators that I was talking to, they just gave to Pruitt. Pruitt didn't even know nothing about it.
It was almost like they wanted to
they said that they was
go around him.
They said they was bypassing Pruitt's desk with lots of tips and stuff.
TBI did say this case is outside the norm. Yeah, they did.
It's way outside the norm. I mean, there's different parts of Summer's case. I mean, there's before she went missing part.
Mm-hmm.
There's a missing part, and then after she went missing part.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people's got to understand.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. There was a lot of crimes going on before she went missing. That might not like.
That ain't got nothing to do with her disappearance.
Yeah, maybe not directly.
Not directly, no. But then there's her disappearance, and then what's happened to her after she's disappeared with the people.
Mm-hmm. Lots of crimes, lots of criminal.
Knoxville, to deal with that, they're scared of the following week after that place was turned into the motels. That's why they sent the special tactics unit out of Texas and the marshals, because they was afraid to deal with the people. They called it the big training exercise that they was doing on the down low.
Yeah, but I'm worried that the person, I kind of wonder who, if they're Playboy, like the original, the Playboy, like Summer Playboy, that woman, Lady of the Night, was mentioning.
Yeah.
I really believe that it could be that Marcus Washington that passed away.
They hit a motel out on Alcoa that you was talking about when you come off the road. That is that one looked like a one level. You go around behind, and it was two level. We went over that and stuff when I was at Hawkins County.
Yeah,
it was off Alcoa Highway, and then the other two was off one of them was next to Cherry, Magnolia and Cherry, and then there was another one on the other side, kind of the opposite way from Cherry and Magnolia. And then they were.
It is nice to know that they took that information seriously. Yeah. Like they were actually, you guys, taking it very seriously. Like, which makes me think that it has to do with something like that. because when he turned in that information from Knoxville, they like actually took out a map and had you point out places, him point out places of hotels.
They had like 3 different computers out on the table and with different maps, and then they was printing out maps and stuff too, and printing out people.
Yeah, so they took it serious. So it makes me, you've got to wonder that they might have, they're going to have more information than the public has. So they might have like a direction. They might already know a lot of things and just need that little bit more of information.
I think Jody Sue's just covering for somebody.
Yeah.
Jody Sue's got knowledge, yeah.
I wonder if they put her on 219.
Candace didn't go that far in a horror, dude.
Yeah, but
they had the gates.
We don't know.
They had the gates up and locked, from what I understand.
Oh, there's gates that block the road off?
Yes, right there at Ed Redmond's, right past his driveway. You gotta have a key and stuff to get through there.
Who has the key?
Ed. And
well, what if it's Ed?
Ed and the
owner. Ed is quite sus, so.
I know.
What would Andy want from the Wells that he would cover this up? It's not him like wanting anything. It's about what they got themselves into. They got themselves into some bullshit and drug debts, allegedly, in our opinion. Him and Andy would go to Knoxville, these Knoxville trips, and they would, Don knew this drug dealer very well, supposed prison time with him. Don said, Don met Playboy in prison, allegedly. Anyways, now I forget what I was saying. What they got themselves into. Yeah, and they would go, so he would get fronted large amounts of drugs, Don would, allegedly, and he would leave with a balance, owing money. He would come back paying off his balance, and then he would leave with more with a balance, you know what I mean? And this all alleged theories, really, from what our research and everything that it seems like, they got into some drug debt.
Seems like more people out in Knoxville knew Andy and Don better than the people around Ben Hill and stuff.
Andrew Hiltz calls Hunter Playboy. Oh, really? Andrew Hiltz trying to claim vice lords? That's pretty funny. Because Playboy is a symbol for the vice lords. Like the VL, the Playboy bunny. So that's what they call each other, Playboy.
Allie's been seen throw the symbol. Lots of them been seen.
There's pictures of a Summer that looks like she's throwing. It looks like they've got her doing it. Of course, she wouldn't know what she was doing, you know. She's just a baby. Candace also had a Playboy bunny tattoo. Yep. And also, so did, come to find out, Bill Shipley. I don't know if that means anything, but that's a common tattoo, I would think. I used to have a Playboy bunny myself. I don't think you knew that. I had it covered right here. So, East Knoxville in particular.
Andy, how good do you know DJ Smith? I just like me around Beech community. I just ain't really heard much about Andy. Didn't really even know much about Andy until I got to Knoxville, and then it seemed like everybody knew Don and Andy. You know? spoke about them.
Yep.
That was what was weird. I mean, know more about them than the locals did.
Yeah, didn't the one know Andy and you didn't even mention his name? Like, didn't the one, like, mention Andy before you even mentioned Andy?
Yeah, or Dawn.
And
I
Dawn?
just got Summer's name up.
You just brought Summer's name up and they knew Andy and Dawn. Wow, yeah.
Especially that Smith.
I know, it's weird that it's a Smith, too, because that's Andy's family's name. His mom's side.
I mean, when I was in jail, I heard a lot about Don. A lot of people act like they knew Don pretty well, you know. But Andy's name never was mentioned when I was in jail or nothing. Just when I went to the halfway house and started, people got to hear me talk about Summer and stuff, and their names started being brought up by certain ones and stuff.
Yeah. Is who a member? Is who a member? I'm not sure what you mean, Jessica. You know, something has to give. Maybe people would understand if they were in my position why I've got to the point that, you know, I'm emailing TBI. It's just, I don't know. It's like, I guess, desperation at this point. That happened when Fred went in to turn in his text messages and stuff between that guy that he met out in Knoxville when he was at the transitions house. He turned in some text between that guy because that guy claimed to know where Summer was and claimed to know who Dawn and Andy were and blah, blah, blah. Fred turned it in and with Kathy, and who's in chat, Kathy Gordon Ahmad. And while they were there, they were told, do you want to say yourself what they said?
They just said that a lot of stuff wasn't going to pass through its desk, that they was going to send that straight on to TBI.
Yeah, they said it that there was 4 investigators in that room. So, and it was not Pruitt. And they actually even said that they're sending it themselves straight to TBI because, I know for a fact he knows, or I know for a fact, whether people want to believe it or not, but that Pruitt believes that Bear got Summer Wells, like, but.
So it makes you wonder what information that's hidden there.
Yeah, what is he not sending over because he just is really believes the Bear got Summer, you know? Is he kind of you know how Pruitt wasn't around at the beginning of the case, really. It's weird because it keeps.
See, we need to talk to somebody about that place up there next to Bristol Motor Speedway. See, it's supposed to be like a castle. That compound.
Yeah.
That Playboy supposed to own, play part of too. And
yeah.
So that's outside of Bluntville. But Dennis was the one who dropped that one girl off up there.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we had somebody else, Rhiannon, talking about something like that. Yeah, Fred, this guy named Dennis was talking about something like that, some weird place out in the middle of, like, by Bristol, like that.
Next to Bristol Motor Speedway.
That he was saying something about how they had guns and.
Yeah, it's a fenced off and it's like a castle, but they got armed guards and stuff around.
Yeah.
That's. Some girl needed to ride back there or something. That's how he knew about it. Give her a ride back there from somewhere.
Was she a prostitute or something, or escort? Which he's not into girls, so I know it couldn't have been him. Like,
But supposedly they just would sell them girls out and stuff to people during the race in Bristol Motor Super when they had a race at Bristol 2 times a year. I think it was in March and another one in August or October or something.
did it have a helicopter landing?
I don't know.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to go by what Dennis was saying about it. But that's
Well, Rhiannon was mentioned. We were talking about a place that had a helicopter landing, and it was like castle, and you do weird ritual stuff.
See, I don't know whether they done rituals or whatnot there. My understanding, it was just somebody prostituting a bunch of women out to racers and stuff that was coming in out of town and stuff.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense that it would be there because of the speedway. That's crazy.
Me and Don wasn't close. I mean, we spoke a very few times, a couple handfuls of times, you know, maybe over the 15 years. But after someone went missing, he was like a plague. You couldn't get rid of him. He'd leave for an hour and he'd be right back for an hour or two, and he'd leave for a little bit, and then next thing you know, he's right back.
Yep.
And then the last time he come, he was trying to get me to go to Knoxville with him when he ended up calling for the DCS to come get the boys, trying to get me to go to Knoxville with him to negotiate a daddy for the last dope we got. And because I wanted to go with him and stuff, he kind of quit. We kind of had a few words over it and stuff, and he kind of quit coming around. He was there one more time, and I told him the best thing he could do was roll on down the road. Well, I'm just being honest. Because the only reason he wanted me to go to Knoxville with him is it involved me just enough to shut me up, just like he has the rest of them around him right there.
And people were showing up in Knoxville when Fred was there, and really couldn't even say anything about it. I mean, we mentioned kind of about it on here, but we knew people wouldn't believe us. So what's the point of even mentioning anything? I mean, we put little kind of mention things, but yeah, a lot more has happened than even you guys even know. Fred was when he was in Knoxville, which is so strange that that's where he was placed. There's a lot of weird coincidences that's happened. It's so insane. I don't even understand how, Fred just ends up in Knoxville to do the halfway or the transitional thing that the court ordered. And of all places, he gets placed in Knoxville. And then there's this guy there who claims to be affiliated with the Vice Lords and claim to know a man by the name of Playboy who also claims to have information on Summer Wells. And what the hell? Another odd, weird, coincidental thing too is right on the counter when Fred first got to this place was a recipe book that was associated that his Fred's daughter was helped make, that was affiliated with a Rogersville church.
Well, the Mount Carmel.
Yeah, Mount Carmel Church, which is so weird, all the way in Knoxville.
Where they set the command center up when they searched for someone.
Yeah, and that's the command. And so just a bunch of weird coincidences like that. And then, just to go there and this person claimed to know Playboy and stuff. And
that's why I had my phone dipped and stuff.
Yeah, and that's why Fred turned in his phone and stuff. So we're just hoping that they were able to get a hold of that guy because Fred showed him, the conversations of him claiming to know where Summer Wells was. claiming to have even seen her. And he claimed, I mean, they were
Dawn's name up and Andy's name.
Yeah, he brought up Andy's name and Dawn's name without Fred bringing it up, so it's very just strange. Like, we don't know what to think, you know. Of course.
Now he's being looked. They're trying to find him now. He's been running in, I think, like 5 counties that they're looking for him.
So he's running now?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
He's been running.
I thought they found him in the rehab.
I thought they did, but I don't know. I know they're looking for him.
I hope he didn't run because of them looking for him in the Summer Wells, for Summer Wells info.
I feel like.
I mean, now that the guys.
He may have got scared and took off.
Now that if that guy that I feel like could possibly be, if that is who really, if he's really who I think he is, then I mean, it would be a good time to talk because he's supposedly not alive anymore. But I mean, I understand that doesn't mean that the threat's completely gone. Mount Carmel is what David correct. The guy running is last we heard he's running is his name's Dennis Smith. He wanted to help. And you know, he acted like he really wanted to help.
Yeah, he knew that the TBI and stuff would be involved.
Yeah, he knew. He was 100% aware of it. So, like, you know, at this point, I don't feel like really bad saying his name because, like, but I mean, it's weird. His last name's Smith. That's another.
Some details and stuff of what was going on and stuff, but you know. I'm not going to put it out there. Come down to amounts of the money, everything. I mean, that was supposed to be owed and stuff.
Was it 50,000?
40.
40,000. Yeah, he tried to say that Dawn owed $40,000 and. You know, it was a temporary thing and blah, blah, you know, until it's paid off, right?
Yeah, but the way he talks, that he was just supposed to be temporary, but when they called her in missing, then it changed everything. When they're going back, you know.
Is his last name really Smith? Yep.
Yep.
But, you know, that's a common last name, too. So it's really hard to say whether or not that means anything. But we do know that, I don't know. Andy's side, though, his side is the one, is the Smiths.
He knew a lot about Dawn and Andy.
He knew a lot about Dawn and Andy.
I found out more about Dawn and Andy than I ever knew about them from the creek.
And that's why I was thinking, like, but I thought it was Jody Sue's side who had ties to Knoxville, her family, and she's not the Smiths. It would be Andy's side that would be the Smiths, and I never
did hear Jody's name being brought up in Knoxville or nothing. He was just, that boy just mentioned Dawn.
I know, but I was just saying people are noticing the Smith name. That comes from Andy's side.
Yeah, it comes from Andy's side.
Andy doesn't have any family that lives in, like, remember when their son was supposedly staying out in Knoxville, right? For a time with a grandparent or something?
Oh, I don't know.
One of the grandparents, I think I don't know. You guys remember that? And that they claimed it was raided and stuff? That the place was raided, supposedly. Who knows if that's even freaking true?
Because Andy's parents has always lived on Longshore. Of course, they got a place in Florida, too.
Yeah, places seemed like all over.
Well, I mean, they got a place in Florida that they normally stay, too. I think Dennis needs to be checked into from the one that reported and stuff.
The one that who?
From Knoxville.
Yeah. Dennis Smith.
Yeah. Dennis James Samuel Smith.
Drinking, drugging it up. Yeah, that shit's gonna come out. And Jose throwing his phone in this ocean after seeing on Facebook that Candace had a Subaru. And dreams that Dawn had saying something was going to happen to her. Two specific names came up from Ben Hill Road about the debt. Yep. Two names. This guy in Knoxville that Fred was in the halfway house with mentions Don Wells and Andy Bernard. This guy claims to be affiliated with the Vice Lords and this guy named Playboy. So it was all turned in. Well, law enforcement took that so seriously that they literally drove. Like, Fred had to wait there. And, well, he didn't have to, but he did because they wanted to keep his phone overnight. But he couldn't because he had to go back. And that's when he was ordered to stay at that transitional living house because of the drug charges he had. They drove. Fred waited. They had to drive all the way from Knoxville. TBI came all the way from Knoxville to get Fred's phone. That was last summer. 2 months ago, I get a call back from one of my emails. So, they are like checking into things and stuff. And maybe the investigator was trying to give me a little nudge, like, hey, that's what we need. We need who's driving this blue truck. That's why I keep telling you guys this. And somebody out there knows who has this blue truck, this dark blue GMC Canyon, about 2005 to 2007. It looked like it had a new paint job even. The windows, dark. You couldn't see in them at the sides at all. On the front, you could only make out that there was two people in there. Somebody knows this vehicle. But see, Fred saw it there that day for the first time and then never again. First and last time on June 15th, 2021. Following Andy out of the hauler. But Andy wasn't on the road, right? When's he gonna fucking admit that shit? Has he come up with his freaking story for why he was on the road yet? I mean, come on. Somebody give us an explanation before I freaking go bonkers over here. I mean, seriously.
I mean, it was crazy at the details that boy was going into and stuff with a lot of stuff I turned into the law enforcement.
Oh, I'm sorry, Terry. I didn't know you were friends with, is Lucy Cat one of your friends? Which ones, Hair Curler's Crime? Like, as far as what?
Talking about the two that names was mentioned.
Oh, yeah, Don and Andy Bernard.
Don and Andy was the only two names mentioned.
Don and Andy Bernard.
And from what Dennis had told, I mean, that Don was still even visiting Knoxville, seeing Summer at certain points, every 2 weeks.
Yeah, allegedly, Don was still visiting Summer. Who knows what is true with that? I don't know. We'd love to think Summer's still alive.
All I know is what
was in a text between me and that boy and stuff, and some messages that he had recorded and stuff, or not video, but audio and stuff inside where they were supposed to be in at that motel.
Yeah. He claimed to have,
I mean, he talked about even them moving her between 2 houses and 3 different motels, not just her, other children as well.
Yeah. And that's why this is super important, because
2 names was mentioned more. Children names was Summer Wells and Jonathan Tate. He kept mentioning Jonathan Tate was the only boy there.
Yeah, which I can't find a Jonathan Tate unless there's.
There's supposed to be 10 girls and 1 boy that they was moving between 3 motels and 2 houses.
Yeah. And, Fred, they got out a map and everything. Fred pinpointed the motels over there in Knoxville that are, he believes, are key areas.
I was told that they was being moved in between.
I don't know. I want strawberries, and I don't know. I hope to God it's not something like that, because that just gets scary. I mean, it's already dangerous as is, but to fight then the law enforcement, to be against law enforcement, corrupted law enforcement, I pray to God that's not who we're up against.
But I do know that the week after they dipped the phone and stuff, the following week, they sent us special unit out of Texas and some marshals to Knoxville they called it a training exercise, but they did get several children from certain motels.
Yeah, but we don't know if it's related. Yeah, they don't release names. They don't tell you, oh yeah, we got, they don't tell you anything.
But I do know that they
usually
get children,
What is F&D? I don't know. F&D. I have the same thing, nerve pain. Thinking is...
Because the boy that done the ripping stuff, Candace is most likely lied to.
No.
That's what I'm under the impression.
Not suspects. Let's focus on Summer Wells and getting her justice.
I mean, from what I understand and stuff, if the Knoxville thing is 100% legit with what that boy said and stuff, Candace is most likely lied to.
No.
That's what I'm under the impression.
I said, to whom it may concern, my husband, Fred Hill, told me something important last night that Don Wells told him the night CPS was alerted by Don Wells to come get the boys. I know Don Wells did that because that night Don went down to Fred's at 207 Ben Hill Road and asked Fred for help. He was frantically trying to come up with money for his drug dealer, and he seemed concerned that his sons would be taken just like Summer Wells. So that's why he called the cops. Don Wells was asking Fred to come with him to Knoxville to help negotiate a deal with the dealer on his debt. Don didn't mention if the dealer had Summer Wells, but I can only assume that's who Don Wells and, in my opinion, Andy Bernard handed her off to. Also, Fred Hill wants to remind you guys about the white HHR that sat at Beech Creek right across the bottom shed property of Don's for days before Summer Wells went missing, and then suddenly the evening she went missing, it was gone. And also very important is the dark blue truck with tinted windows that followed Andy Bernard out of the holler on June 15th, 2021. Please call with questions. Can you tell a story one more time of when Don came down there in August of 2021 talking about the story about the drug dealer?
Well, he just come up there and was talking about wanting to know if I'd go back to Knoxville with him to negotiate a deal with him, with the dealer. And I figured that was just trying to get me wrapped up in a bunch of shit where I couldn't speak on some stuff.
Yeah. And what else was he doing while he was there?
Smoking his crack.
Smoking crack?
Yeah, that's when he got all that crack.
Yeah, when he had just... Where he had got that? Or where did he get that crack?
Knoxville.
He'd just come from there?
Yeah. He come from my earlier that night, I reckon.
And
Because
what?
he talked about worrying about if FBI or TBI was following him and stuff. He thought they had been following him and stuff in Knox County. So he even talked about finally just driving crack house to crack house, try to throw him off and stuff. But he also destroyed the phone that night too.
Yeah, didn't he like? What was he telling you about your phone or whatever?
Yeah, he come back kind of wigged out. I don't know. That was after
He was all paranoid and stuff, and talking
that
about.
was when he was talking about he called CPS to come get the boys because they wasn't safe. He said they wasn't safe because of YouTube, but as I look back later on, I could tell what it was about, you know.
Yeah.
But he was talking about wanting me to get rid of my phone. I've never had no contact with Dawn with my phone or Andy or nobody. I ain't even got their number, never had their numbers, never want their numbers. But he just odd. He wanted me to. He must have thought that. He may have thought I was recording. I don't know what to deal with.
Oh yeah, maybe he thought you recorded him.
I thought about that later, you know. I told him, I get rid of my phone. There wasn't no need me to get rid of my phone. I ain't done nothing to get rid of my phone, boy.
Yeah, Don was trying.
He done that. Talked about got rid of his phone, destroyed his phone at that time.
Yeah, he had told Fred that he has destroyed his phone and got rid of it, and he was trying to convince Fred to do the same. Like, why? You know, why?
If I had got rid of my phone or something and law enforcement had talked to me or anything, that just made it look real suspicious on my behalf, you know?
Right. And it didn't even make sense.
I feel like he was trying to get me wrapped up in something else so I couldn't speak.
Is that when he brought up the dark web too?
No, he brought up the dark web on the 16th. See, that was what the boy from Knoxville had got recording of them talking about a debt and stuff, and
yeah,
it was supposedly Summer was just supposed to be in help for a certain length of time until Dawn and somebody else had paid the debt off. And then, but when the boy said when Dawn had called Summer and missing, it changed everything up to where there wasn't no return or something. Why are you trying to keep eyes off your son, Jody Slue? You want to play these games? We'll play these games. DJ Smith may come out of hiding in Knoxville and tell a little more than he wanted to tell before about Andy and Don and somebody else close to you that you're really trying to protect, Jody Slue.
This was the part about he was saying, DJ Smith, you want to play these games? We'll play these games, Jody Sue. DJ Smith will maybe come out of there and his tongue get twisted, and now he's like hiding before he wants to come hiding in court and tell them what Andy in Knoxville. Y'all, I've never heard of anyone named DJ Smith in my life. No, nope, buddy.
Yeah, well, maybe he
First of all, DJ Smith never mentioned your name. He talked about Don and Andy.
Yeah, exactly. Andy Bernard. Yeah, he knows they're from Knoxville. Maybe you wouldn't probably. He's from Knoxville, so you might not know him, Jody Sue, unless you went on some excursions out with your lover boy to go pick up his. I don't know if you were part of that. But if you're into that stuff, I don't know. But he went out there, you know what was going on out there. So is DJ Smith. That's all we're saying. Maybe you might not know him, but his real name's not DJ to begin with.
He does know Andy and Don because he hangs out where they was getting the dope.
Mm-hmm.
No Knoxville Dawn trips. And that's just how it is. And that's the fucking truth. And Fred knows goddamn good and well that when all of us say Knoxville is not necessarily mean he knows what the fuck's up, and so is Dudley, and so is everybody goddamn else. Knoxville us here doesn't necessarily what you all think it means either, and Fred damn well goddamn knows this. So he's gonna miss me with that shit too.
The best way to say it is the Wells' reputation is they were involved in activity coming out of Knoxville, and their role in it was they were runners. And then they also hosted and participated in activity that was more defined as human trafficking.
Late July of 2021, Don came down there to...
Well, Don come wanting to do his dope at first. That's when he pretended he was being a crack fairy, and that he was trying to prove that he didn't have to sell somewhere to take in or trade it for drugs. He allowed he had money for drugs. Well, he had some money because he paid for so much, from my understanding, and then left with a bigger debt from Knox County.
But when he came down, what did he come down there saying to you? Like,
I mean, when he come the first time, he just wanted to do dope and stuff. And I thought he was trying to set me up at the time. So I told him I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Then he leaves. Then he comes back about an hour. And then he was talking about wanting somebody to go to Knoxville with him. Mm-hmm. He lied on like he just wanted somebody to ride Knoxville and stuff. Of course, he was smoking his dope and stuff. Then he actually leaves again. He don't say nothing about the what do you call it?
The debt or
yeah, well, negotiation. And when he come back the third time is when he talked about the negotiation. Won't know if I would go to Knoxville with him and stuff to try to negotiate a deal with him on some he owed. And I thought he was trying to wrap me up in a bunch more stuff because he talked about done seeing the TBI supposedly following him, and he's talked about going to dope house to dope house to dope house, so they wouldn't know exactly where he did get his dope at. And then
really? So he went to different places out in Knoxville to make it so they wouldn't know which one was his dope dealer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably so they wouldn't know where Summer Wells was too, or something.
That would be my thought now.
But he never mentioned anything that day about me negotiating to get Summer back, or the boys,
or anything about the boys.
But he just
said try and find somebody to go with him to try to negotiate a deal.
Yeah. And then, so during what time when did he bring up about that calling CPS?
That was the fourth time. He left again and then
it's all one day?
Yeah, this is all one night. And I guess because I wouldn't go with him or something to try to negotiate a deal when he left that time, he had kind of pissed like. And then when he come back the fourth time, he's talking about, first he said something about he got rid of his phone and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then he's whispering to me. He's like, I got rid of my phone and stuff because I'm afraid they was tracking it.
And he was whispering to you, so thinking that people were paranoid.
He was trying to get me to get rid of my phone. Why would I get rid of my phone? I've not talked to you or nothing. But he thought that the law was may have been listening to my phone on their conversation. Is what it boiled down to.
Wow.
And then he took and got talking about he'd done called for CPS to come get the boys because they wasn't safe because of YouTubers. But that wasn't the case. And the way I feel, he was scared that because he couldn't negotiate the deal, maybe they would come get the boys. That's my thought of it right now.
Yeah.
After I found out more about Knoxville and stuff.
Like at
that time, I didn't know that much about Knoxville. I know he was going to Knoxville some, but I didn't know the details like I did after I went to the halfway house and talked to Dennis Smith. And then I learned a lot about
yeah, and it's almost like, it's almost like it made us almost feel like, well, to me anyways, that they sent Fred to that Knoxville halfway house, like almost like it was on purpose or something. I mean, it's just so strange how it all lined up. Like how possible is it that Fred's gonna get sent to do his the halfway house or whatever in Knoxville, of all places, right near, where Don's and Andy's stomping ground, grounds.
Within a mile from the motels, the 3 motels that he was visiting.
I mean, it was crazy. And then it was like so many freaking signs. And then this guy there to claim to have been affiliated with Playboy and no Playboy, and claim that Playboy has Summer, and claims that he, I mean, it was just like, what? Is it, how do you run into some, this guy came up to Fred too, and
I mean, he overheard me. We was live, I guess it was, and I was outside, and he heard you talking about Summer Wells and stuff too, and then after the live, he brought up that he knew where she was, that she wasn't missing at all.
Yeah, and I remember
by him, supposedly Summer was supposed to had went on the 13th, and where the DCS was coming on the 14th. That's why it went down on the 15th. It's from what I understood from Dennis Smith. But she was just supposed to be by what Dennis said, held until Dawn and them had dropped.
And this information was turned in. Was it last summer?
Yeah, it was March, about the middle of March.
Stop talking about Jay. Yeah, that's fine. What's a little bit? Who's Jay? Oh, thank you. Look, it's or well, you can't really see it very well there. So he comes down. Don comes down there. He tells you like this was all on the same day. Down there 4 times that day, so you could tell he was super paranoid.
Yeah,
that had been must have been like
it was way late in the night, well, way up in the morning. The last time he came, it was like 3:00 in the morning.
I was gonna say it must have been like pretty much like pretty close together, because I'm guessing when he drove, I mean, he had to have been already drove out in Knoxville and everything and got his cocaine.
Been to Knoxville and come with the dope to the house first. That's when he first come. Well, actually, he had come, and I wasn't there. I mean, he was seen on camera at our house, And I just hadn't been home too long when he come. So I made 5 times, really, he'd been there. He'd been there, and I wasn't there, and then come. I think it was like 10:30 or so at night or something. Seems like it was.
Yeah, so he was really concerned that night and worried, and paranoid, or maybe it sounds like he had a real reason to be paranoid.
I mean, he talked about destroying one of his phones that night. So did he destroy a phone too when Summer went missing or something too, That's what makes me wonder in him destroying the phone that night, thinking that they were tracking him more by that phone. Yeah, I mean, when I had my phone dipped with the Knoxville information and stuff, they talk like that. The investigators there was talking about Pruitt stuff that was coming on Pruitt's desk through Hawkins County wasn't even getting to the TBI. That he was pretty much going straight in the trash.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they said. There was like 5 different investigators standing there when I was talking to them about the Knoxville stuff. When we
and so me and you sat and we discussed, like, do you think I should, for a couple days,
they pushed it straight through to the TBI, the information, and they had to the TBI, that's why it took so long too that day, because they had to come from Knoxville back to take and download everything off that phone with the information from DJ or Dennis Smith. I mean, just like when I turned that information in there off that phone, they sent the next following week, they went to them certain motels. They sent they called it a training exercise, but they sent a special tactic, behave, special tactics unit out of Texas and the U.S. Marshals to 3 different motels that Dennis Smith had talked about and stuff. And I do know that they got 22 children from them 3 motels, but their names.
It was really interesting how they had all those raids and stuff right after.
Because we went over where the motels, I mean, maps, everything right there. Let's see, Dennis is from Knox County. And don't even live in the area. And he knew more about supposedly what happened than anybody. And certain names, how did he know certain names of certain ones in the area and stuff, neighbors and this and this and this and this.
It's crazy to think. It's crazy finding out that this Playboy guy is actually real.
And how it is even. I mean, he talked about how it even supposed to went down and everything. I mean,
that's just so crazy. I wish that woman would contact me back. If you ever hear this, lady, contact me back, please. I don't mean that rude by saying lady. I just mean, like, I'm not sure your name, but I'd like to talk to you again. You can still remain anonymous. I want to talk to you more about Knoxville.
I just like Dennis. He talked to,
it's about important.
Plumb down to how it all was supposed to play out pretty much. And it's always rabbit holes you got to go down. It's just me and fucking rabbit holes. I'm just like everybody else on YouTube, trying to figure out what happened this summer. I had no idea. I'm just trying to put it all together just like everybody else is and trying to do everything in my power to find answers.
Yeah.
That's why I agreed to work with law enforcement from day one. And trust me, it wasn't for no lighter sentence or this or that or nothing like that either.
They didn't even offer you that.
I was even working with that anyway. It ain't about that. It's about finding the little girl that needs to be found. The motel she's talking about was on Alcoa Highway.
Yep.
Off Alcoa Highway.
Yeah, and Fred went over with law enforcement
on the map.
Pointing out which motels they needed to check.
That Dennis had told me about,
I was talking about how Jody Sue was afraid her child was going to be trafficked. That her child, she was afraid and traumatized because she was afraid. She kept thinking, oh my God, they got the wrong. She thought that they was her daughter that was supposed to be targeted. Why would she think it was her daughter that was supposed to be targeted? Why would she think that? Why was she so, seem so traumatized around the fact that she thought, it could have been her daughter, and, they thought it was a mistake and they took Summer instead of her daughter. Probably because she knew Andy owed money.
I said they were supposed to pay $42,000, what Dennis said.
Oh, yeah, that they owed $42,000 allegedly. Was the amount. But I don't know, it's around 50. I mean, because 50 keeps being thrown out there, and that must, there's got to be some kind of truth to it.
I seriously still feel like it was drug debt myself.
Okay, so walk me through that. Why do you feel that? It's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to connect the dots as to why you believe that.
Well, after I got to Knoxville and stuff, I ran into a boy named Dennis Smith, and he was in the same halfway house as I was, and I was actually listening to something about Summer Wells on YouTube, and he's like, she's not missing like people thinks. he said, I know where she's at and stuff. And I just figured he was blowing smoke at me, kind of. And then he's like, well, Don and Andy owed the drug debt in Knoxville. And he said a specific number. It was like 48,000 and some odd dollars. I can't remember exactly, but he was saying, he said the number all the way out. But he was allowing that. It actually was supposed to went down on, actually what he told me is that Summer was just supposed to be held until Don and Andy brought the money, and that they came to get Summer on the 13th, and where the CS was coming on the 14th, they agreed to pick her up on the 15th and do the transaction then. So, and then he said, when, this is what he's telling me and stuff. He said when, after all that happened and stuff, instead of Don and Andy bringing the money, Don takes and calls her in missing, and he said that's when things started going south. He didn't say what, but he just said that it made it where there was no return of Summer without a bunch of people going down.
So why Summer?
I don't know. It was actually supposed to be 2 kids, but I don't know.
According to that guy.
According to this guy, but he kept mentioning Summer Wells's name and a Jonathan Tate's name. But he said Jonathan Tate was never reported missing.
Who's Jonathan Tate?
I don't know. It was just somebody that was supposed. It was a child, that little boy that was supposed to be held where Summer was held.
With how many kids?
And they was 11 of them in all. They was 10 girls and 1 boy that they was supposed to be holding like that at that place, moving them between them 3 motels and that 1 house. And see, when I
tell them how you got to that halfway house, like how long you had to wait. It seemed like it was.
That ain't important.
I think it is.
But when I took and turned the information and stuff in, I mean, this boy went as far as at the, how am I trying to say this? When I had him to take, and I was trying to get me video surveillance that up Summer Pacific, because I thought he may just been bullshitting me, because he's talking about wanting reward money and stuff. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to have to turn all this in TBI. He said, I'm cool with that and stuff. And I'm like, well, I want you to send me actual video if you can get in the motel where she's at, in which he let on like he could, because he let on like his girlfriend, Colleen, at the time, was actually taking care of the kids and stuff when they was moving them from motel to motel. But only thing that he would send me would be voice clips and stuff, supposedly Summer talking, which on one of the recordings with her talking, him kind of talking to her about how old she was and stuff. She kept saying that she is 9 at that time. And this was in 2024, May, I think it was, of 2024, and stuff. But the little girl that he was recording and stuff in his motel was talking about Dawn, her being her dad, and this and this and this and this. So I've turned all that information in to Hawkins County, and the TBI come out and dipped my phone and stuff, and with all that information, and then we went over maps and stuff where the motels was at Knoxville and all that. And they actually, about a week after that information was turned into them and stuff, they sent a special unit out of Texas to Knoxville, and U.S. Marshals to them 3 motels, and they actually got 22 children out of them motels, but I've never heard what their names was or nothing.
I think it's important that you tell them how you got, or about how long they waited. It's like they law enforcement was pretty much purposely.
I've got them on my phone.
Yes.
Yeah, it kind of suspicious
You were-
because
your
the
time-
halfway house that they put me at was right next to them motels where Dawn was going to visit them in Knoxville. But it was just weird that they went to them Pacific motels within a week of all of that information being turned in.
Where did this Dennis Smith go?
Mm-hmm. That's what I was about to bring up.
Well, Dennis Smith, see, he took off from my halfway house in the mix of trying to get the rest of the information I was trying to get and stuff, and trying to get pictures and stuff of the kids and stuff, trying to get him to get me pictures, which he wouldn't ever get me pictures. He just get recordings of them talking and stuff. But
Sure. So it could have been anybody.
yeah, it could have been anybody, but
He claimed to be Vice Lord's.
yeah,
And
he talked like it was Vice Lord affiliated, all of it.
Who did Don and Andy owe a drug debt to?
All I know is his name was Playboy, went by Playboy.
Is it black guy, white guy, Hispanic?
He's a light-skinned black guy, is what they're letting on.
And
But see, another thing,
where's he out of?
he's from Knox County. You talking about the Playboy?
His street name is Playboy?
Yes, that's what he went
Do you
by.
know his first name?
I don't. I wish I did.
And how come Playboy would trust Don and Andy with $48,000?
I don't know.
did DJ tell you?
It's been a added up amount over a period of time.
Something.
Is the way I took it.
I heard something about prison, but I don't know. Or
Well, he's talking about the money, wasn't he? How, but
Yeah, the
from
money.
yeah.
it was just,
I was just saying, I
from
think-
what I'm understanding, it was just an added up amount over a lengthy time.
Well, tell him
period.
about that incident in August. It's
will.
really important.
But
Sorry,
see,
Chris.
before Don called or the CPS stepped in and took the boys, Don came to my house and stuff and was wanting me to go back to Knoxville with him to negotiate a deal and stuff with his dealer, which I wouldn't go and stuff with him. At the time, I didn't know about this other situation about Dennis and stuff, about the summer situation and stuff with the other. But anyway, he was trying to get me to go to Knoxville and stuff with him to negotiate a deal the night before the boys was took or whatever by CPS. But he tried to say that he took and called the CPS he tried to tell me that he called specifically the CPS to come get the boys because they weren't safe there and stuff. But he tried to blame it on YouTube, but people from YouTube, that they weren't safe because of them. But in all reality, he was trying to get me to go to Knoxville with him to negotiate a deal with his dealer within 24 hours or something, him calling for them to come get the boys, you see. It was almost like, it made me
He
what,
came to you?
yeah, he came to me.
Because you were saying to him,
Yeah, see, I done when
because law
they
enforcement
was
told you.
trying to get me to talk to Dawn about ever who he owed at first and stuff. When Summer first went missing, when they was wanting me to hit on him, I was like, well, hit Dawn if you, whatever you need to do, wherever she's at, just let me know. It don't matter how much money, whatever it can be come up with. We just need to know where she's at to deliver the money and stuff. And see, by me saying all that, I think he thought, well, maybe I would go with him that time and negotiate a deal.
Oh, okay, interesting. But how does Andy, how is he part of this debt, money owed?
From what all I know is I was just told they owed the debt, But then I'm trying to think in my head, how, if they both owed a debt, if Don's having to take and give up one of his children, what's Andy got to do, you know? Andy's going to have to pull his weight in something other. But from what Dennis told me, that Summer was passed off between 3 different cars in a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That he did what? Say it again?
Dennis told me that Summer, when they went to every house Summer got to Knoxville, but she was transported in three different cars in a real short period of time. So if somebody seen her get in this car, then if it was pulled over or anything, she wouldn't be there.
Okay.
But that makes me wonder then, by me seeing Andy on the road, and then that blue truck sitting in there, and then that white HHR, it makes me wonder if that's the 3 vehicles she was passed between.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, what about, how did they get her off the property?
Kind of way I took it, the way Dennis talked, probably Andy got his son to bring her to the bottom of the hill.
Mm-hmm. And where at? Exactly.
He didn't say. He just talked like that. He got his son involved just enough to keep him from speaking.
So Andy got his son involved?
Yeah, that's from what I was told out in Knoxville by Dennis.
To go up and get Summer?
Yeah.
Tell him about.
And did Summer obviously on her own go with him, you think?
I would think she probably would, because see, the last time I seen Summer physically, seen her, was about 3 weeks before she actually was reported missing. And I went up to the Wellses, and I went up there going to ask Don if he had a gallon of gas I could borrow, so I could make it sure I made it to town. I was going to go bring it back to him. But when I pulled up, Don wasn't there or nothing, but it was odd that Damien and Summer was in a swimming pool where the red barrel was that the video was made of her dancing. Before that barrel was there was a swimming pool there. And Damien and Summer was in that swimming pool. Damien had his back kind of towards the door of the house, and there was just them two out there, and Candace came out after I pulled up. And he was just sitting.
And how old is Damien?
He was 19 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. And this is Andy and Jody Sue's son.
Yes.
Which you didn't know what that was even his name.
Is this the boy who supposedly reported hearing the scream?
Yes. The animalistic scream.
Yeah.
But I thought it was odd that Summer would be outside in the pool, just him and her. Of course, when I pulled up, I mean, he was just sitting with his back kind of towards the door of Dawn and Candace's upstairs, and he had his arms laying out on the edge of the pool, just sitting there in the pool. But Summer was just jumping around in the pool on the other side of him and kind of in front of him, playing. But why, it doesn't make sense to me, why would Summer only be out there playing with him and stuff? Why wouldn't the other boys be out there playing? You would thought if he was up there playing with the kids, he would be there playing with the boys and not Summer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So where does Hunter come into this?
I don't know nothing about Hunter. I've never seen Hunter before YouTube, or knowed anything about Hunter before YouTube.
Okay, we'll leave him out of the conversation then. So let's go back to Damien for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What the day you said you come up there? What day was that again? Remind me, if you remember.
When I seen him in the pool, or what?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was about 3 weeks before she had went missing.
before they were ever born.
Who?
All of them.
Need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence to let them in, talk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I came to play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me. Then I double up again, none of their knows, none of them cold. They just got lucky but never adapted, so I'm to the one if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close, I let them think that they got me, but what do you know? I had them beat before we ever spoke, I'm ready for smoke. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now they ain't go harder than me, they need a blade and a sheath, a shank and a piece, a crate full of heat, an army, a fleet, a tank and a jeep, a navy at sea, where they some marine, an ace up their sleeve, a team of marines, a freak on a leash, a beast with an appetite, razor for teeth, and still they would lay at my feet. Boy, you got the wrong one.
There's a formula to it, a very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Break down my walls, but I will rise again. 'Cause I stand tall in my environment. How could I ever close my eyes and stay silent since they try to take me down with their violence?
The red sun rose this morning, dark skies pronounce your warning. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Hold on, the floor is caving, your walls turn into cages. Your refuge will be your demise. Dances with the devil, your power isn't special. We don't fit on your canvas, we burn it all to ashes now. 'Cause we are the outlaws.
There's a formula to it, a very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Yeah, you've been dancing with the devil. Be careful who you gunning for, 'cause when it settles, it's only pain and grief when you living lawless. We only chase it if the chance of profit's flawless. We keep our eyes on the weak, they know that they targets. Hunting for goodwill, we ain't looking for bargains. And you should say a prayer, ain't nobody praying for you. 'Cause if I want it, then it's mine, that's what I'm saying to you. If you faint hearted, you better leave. You try and cross me, then you dead to me. 'Cause I'm in the business of making enemies. And there's a good chance that you may never leave. You feeling comfortable, you should never be.
Damn, killer. It's so good.
Dennis James Samuel Smith. He talked like
it was Vice Lord affiliated, all of it.
He's talking about the guy at Knoxville who had claimed to have known Playboy and be affiliated with the Vice Lords. He claimed that Dawn had been visiting Summer every 2 weeks or something like that.
Who did Don and Andy owe a drug debt to?
All I know is his name was Playboy, went by Playboy.
That's when it first started coming out, is the Lady of the Night. That's when the first, and then when Fred was in jail, the writing on one of the jail cell walls about something to do with Vice Lords and some weird that they came in and painted over it. Law enforcement came in, took pictures, painted over it, right?
I started learning about the Vice Lords when I was in jail. I didn't know nothing about the Vice Lords even being around nowhere in the area, you know?
Yeah, and
I mean, I got a lot of information off the cell wall on 104 on B-Pod.
That's 104 B-Pod is where the jail cell number that writing was on, that mentioned, that had some kind.
A lot about Summer.
Somebody had written on the wall stuff about Summer Wells and the Vice Lords.
All kinds of pictures and stuff.
Just, yeah. Just got here. I have said that I know a lot about this case, and Breonna Tester was a Vice Lord. That's crazy if that's true. I've been saying that I know that Breonna Tester is my cousin, and Don was the one who picked her up in Knoxville. Andrew Hiltz calls Hunter Playboy. Oh, really? Because Playboy is a symbol for the Vice Lords. Candace also had a Playboy bunny tattoo.
Yeah.
And also, so did, come to find out, Bill Shipley. I don't know if that means anything, but that's a common tattoo, I would think. I used to have a Playboy bunny myself.
When you talk to somebody about that place up there next to Bristol Motor Speedway, see, it's supposed to be like a castle. That compound.
Yeah.
That Playboy's supposed to own it. Probably part of it too. And
yeah.
So that's outside of Rockville. But Dennis is the one dropped that one girl off up there.
Oh, yeah. This guy named Dennis was talking about something like that, some weird place out in the middle of, by Bristol, like that.
Next to Bristol Motor Speedway.
That he was saying something about how they had guns and...
Yeah, it's a fenced off, and it's like a castle, but they got armed guards and stuff around.
Yeah. That's...
Some girl needed to ride back there or something, and that's how he knew about it. Give her a ride back there from somebody.
Was she a prostitute or something, or escort?
But supposedly they just would sell them girls out and stuff to people during the race in Bristol Motor Suit when they had a race at Bristol 2 times a year. I think it was in March and another one in August or October.
So we were all basically just picked up and just wanted to get out of New York because we kind of don't like the way New York runs. So we just wanted to get out of New York, and Tennessee was the halfway point for some of us and a stay point for some of us.
So all of you guys went down there, and did you make plans to stay at the Wells, or how did that all come up?
No, absolutely no. What came about is that NASCAR was in Bristol that same weekend we left, and we didn't know it. Well, that same week, and we didn't know it. So, given Kingsport's on that border of West Virginia and Tennessee, all the hotels and whatnot were taken off.
We were talking about a place that had a helicopter landing, and it was like castle, and you do weird ritual stuff.
I don't know whether they done rituals or whatnot there. My understanding, it was just somebody prostituting a bunch of women out to racers and stuff that was coming in out of town and stuff.
She said that her friend was left, a woman named Diamond who worked at the Mouse's Ear that went by Diamond, stage name, I'm assuming. And she goes, we'll just call this my friend Ruby. So I don't know if that was her stage name or if that, you know, where she came up with Ruby. It just may have been made up. And she said she met this girl and they went to a party. You know, they were in the drug scene and stuff. They were strippers, obviously. And her friend Diamond took her to this hotel, and that's where she met Playboy. They started partying. Her friend just left her there for her drug debt. And Don Wells used to frequent this girl, allegedly, and supposedly gave her a ride away from that place to basically escape. Killer Looks, he got arrested sleeping in a car in Knoxville for trafficking and died later.
Killer Looks, I've seen some of your videos. You're very punctual. I'll say that. You're very, very punctual.
Besides hearing it from YouTube, did you ever hear a mention of Playboy, like, come up?
I know who Playboy is.
You think you know?
Or was.
Somebody's trying to. The person, DJ Smith.
Okay, so there's have you ever heard, Fred? Have you ever heard of a guy named Okay, let's just say this. His last name is Holt, H-O-L-T.
Holt.
No.
Holt.
No, I've never heard of him. No Holt.
Okay.
Holt. There's didn't Smith, the one that the contact from Knoxville, claimed that he knew Playboy, and but claimed that there was actually technically multiple Playboys, whatever that means.
Supposedly it was two different ones, a light skin and a dark skin. But
I don't know what any of this means, but Fred talking about Playboy having some and Don can visit him. And I know the situation with Ellis House and Sue. And Sue being involved with the same guy. Knoxville, Playboy, and Vice Lords, and debts and drugs. A daily mission. Right here. Don't you last go. Clock in. Y'all take y'all notes. All y'all, help RELLIK SKOOL. Straight line, A to B to C. E equals MC squared. It's gotta be logical, even in the unlogical. And Playboy, you down with letting all these motherfuckers here and there, YouTube to whatever, TikTok, whatever. So you really need the heat of it being put on you? Yeah, you dangerous, but you ain't stupid. They saying you got a little go. Hey, you keep it. That's about heat for a player like you. Clocking.
When you get addicted to drugs, you will sell your whole soul to say hi.
Imagine someone taking your daughter hostage. Yeah. Your beautiful daughter that you just got back, and they're playing games with your fucking head.
What do we fucking do? If not for those pesky meddling kids.
Back to what I do. Catfish, Billy, baby, hello, how are you? You're power 9, rappers like a power line, fell into a swimming pool. I think I got the whole crew. Ooh, let me know what y'all wanna do. I bought a 30-pack of Creek water, baby boo. Not a 99, not a 99.99, not mine, I got 100 proof.
They're gonna be sorry they were ever born.
Who?
All of them.
Let's go.
Yeah, make it look easy. Hey, stand up guy, boy, I'm 10 toes. Big body pull up in a Range Rover. I can change the whole game when I say so. I pull up, shut it down, yeah, they know. Running this game ain't a thing for me. I never switched up, no change in me. The only thing changing this season, you go against me, then you know that you tweaking, okay? Cause baby, I'm him, I be on 10. Two-stepping in the party, I do not dance. Watch how I move, make it look easy. Counting up wins, that's part of the plan. Blackmail, taking up my head as a CC. I can't fail, I'm not the reason but repeat. I'm knee deep, need a dub, that's it, you seek me. I'm too sick, yeah, I know I make it look easy. Easy, yeah. Tell them don't try to play me. Yeah, I'm drippy on the dirty. They can never count me out, they can never count me out, I know. They can never count me out, they can never count me out, I know. I make it look easy, make it look easy. I know I make it look easy, make it look easy. I know I make it look easy, too smooth I make it look easy. I know we make it look easy, make it look.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Break down my walls, but I will rise again. 'Cause I stand tall in my environment. How could I ever close my eyes and stay silent since they try to take me down with their violence?
We think it's a mistaken identity, that the people they were hanging out with were actually the targets and not the Wells and not Summer. And everything people are saying is driving us nuts because this has nothing to do with Summer.
I'm lost.
When you get addicted to drugs, you will sell your own soul to say hi.
Imagine someone taking your daughter hostage. Your beautiful daughter that you just got back, and they're playing games with your fucking head.
She could be being tormented every day, tortured every day. She could be locked in a basement with chains. She could be going the rounds with drug dealers.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, Knoxville trip, bring the dope back, have more money, take your kid with you to the Knoxville trips over the weekend, trap them in the car while you bang prostitutes and bring the dope back to the fucking holler and disperse it. Go ahead, Don.
You think so much is done by all these groups and gangs, and yes, that does take place in a lot of areas, but man, it's overwhelming when you think how much is done by families, by friends, by those in the trusted circle, and especially when we talk about the fight against child exploitation and child sexual abuse. It's off the charts of what is being done in the families. And do you know what's I don't know if I want to say most disappointing, but maybe one of the most heartbreaking is, do you know the number one offender? Biological fathers.
Damn, killer. It's so good.
It has now been more than 3 years since a 5-year-old girl disappeared from her Hawkins County home, never to be seen again.
She could be being tormented every day, tortured every day. She could be locked in a basement with chains. She could be going the rounds with drug dealers.
Do you feel like you'll ever see your daughter again?
Eventually. I don't know about in this life, but eventually, yeah.
If you have any information on this case, you can contact the East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen.
New crime-fighting superhero in East Tennessee. Who is it? Well, take a moment and look in the mirror, because it's you. Your superpower comes in the form of a phone number, a website, and an app. Here's tonight's Behind the Badge. It's hard to believe that a simple phone call or email can be such a huge weapon in the fight against crime.
It's remarkable.
But thanks to your tips, that's exactly what East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers has become.
You know, I speak with Crime Stopper programs throughout the nation, and they cannot believe the success we've had in the short time that we've been in existence.
Take a look. In its first year and a half, the organization has received over 3,800 tips, resulting in 80 arrests, 43 warrants, 41 fugitives apprehended, and over $81,000 in property recovered.
You're looking at 43 fugitives that have been taken off of our streets. They're not able to commit their crimes if they're sitting in the jail somewhere. That's remarkable.
Stacy Payne is not only the executive director of East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers, she's its driving force.
Oh, I think it sends a strong message from the community saying, listen, we're tired of the criminal activity. We want to feel safe in our homes and our businesses.
Her idea, born out of a need to give communities an alternative way to reach out to law enforcement following the deadly shootings involving Austin East students in 2021.
We know that we have people out there who have information on the Austin East shootings, for instance, but they're not coming forward. But that kind of pushed it and said, you know, wait, we need a way for our citizens to anonymously report, feel safe in reporting information that they have.
The key words here being anonymously report.
Because what they're given is a unique tip ID number, only good for them. That's all we know them by. That's all the bank will know them by.
Those tips, as of December 31st, 2022, had resulted in payouts of close to $28,000 in reward money. And as we enter 2023, Crime Stoppers shows no signs of slowing down, but the organization needs your help to keep the pressure on criminals.
We are a nonprofit, so we really rely on our community and our business leaders and everyone, not only to submit the tips, but to help us fund the program, to fund the rewards, to pay for our call center, to really make the program work and be a success. We need you. We need the community.
She could be being tormented every day, tortured every day. She could be locked in a basement with chains. She could be going the rounds with drug dealers.
Do you feel like you'll ever see your daughter again?
Eventually. I don't know about in this life, but eventually, yeah.
Damn, killer. It's so good.
We all know that Summer Wells went missing, and if you accept what the TBI tells you, it was in the early afternoon. The last time that anybody outside of her family, and when I mean that, is anybody that lives on 110 Ben Hill Road, that had seen her or seen them with her, was true. H would have been dropped off approximately 2:15. By her, what True said, it was no later than 2:15, because he had to get ready and go to a doctor's appointment, which we find out, if you believe Andrew Hill, his dad, was at 3 o'clock, and I have issues with believing him. That would have put them going back towards, not to, but towards Ben Hill Road, and arriving there about 2:30. We're going past there around 2:30. I mentioned that there was a issue, or that I believe that they were runners. They did a lot of running, and I mean a lot, to try to gain favor.
Said that on separate occasions, Don Wells and Jody Sue's boyfriend Andrew Bernard would run off at night and be gone 3 to 4 days. According to Jody Sue, Don Wells would put his vehicle in neutral and sneak off the property and go to Knoxville. Check it out.
He would just sneak off in the night, and then I'd know by the next morning, Candace would be like, hey, did you hear Don? And I'm like, yep. And we'd know that he would be gone. Yeah, it's just like Monster, he had his patterns too. And so in that way, we knew when each were doing their runoffs or whatever it was, you know, but yeah. But they were pretty open about it, plus everybody around the area knew.
The 4th day, he takes off to Knoxville and don't come back.
for over a month. And they get a restraining order against each other and everything.
My daughter's probably on the fucking streets right now somewhere. And nobody's listening to me.
Donnie, we can't do anything.
I know where she's at. She's in a fucking motel room somewhere with some fucking weirdo. Fucking some motherfucker trying to sell me for a little bit of crack cocaine. I know how it works. Somewhere pulled up in a fucking motel room.
Donnie, stop letting your fucking mind go there, okay?
I've already been there. I've seen
Stop it.
I'm just telling you what I'm telling you what I've seen with my own eyes.
I believe that you have seen this.
Somebody has probably sexually, maybe beat the fuck out of her. Probably. I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids. Oh wow. I've seen a lot of shit.
And she came in and she was crying, and she said that she had just caught Donnie down on, well, it's famous 25th Street down here in Ogden, you know. And she said he was out there trying to sell little Donnie because he needed drugs. They were broke.
And with tears in her eyes, says, "But Daddy, I just want to be with you." And I says,
Right.
"Okay, Summer, I couldn't tell her no."
Yeah.
How do you tell your little girl no when she wants to sleep with you? I can't. It's impossible.
Well, then why do these people like share and Benny say and put these things in everybody's head that you would all sleep naked and shower with her? Like, why are they putting that stuff out? Like, is that true?
You know when your little girl and your boys, they go out and they play all day, then they get mixed up with candy. You bring them candy on or something.
Yeah.
They got the shit all over their face and in their hair.
Yeah.
Well, I have to take a shower every night because I work in drywall.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, get your little punk asses in here. And we'd all rinse off together real quick. Mom would be waiting there with the towel. I'd throw them out one at a time. And Mom would dry them off and dress them. So, you know, I don't want my little girl with freaking candy all over her sleeping next to me. You know, and plus, she ain't gonna sleep good unless she's clean. I did it out of love.
Does Candace shower with the babies?
Well, Candace don't take a shower that often.
I heard, and I don't know if it's a fact or not, that Don, your husband, used to take showers with Summer. Is that true?
No.
Did. Okay. He never took showers with her or nothing like that. And that's true. That's not true, right? Okay.
No.
Okay.
He never did.
Did he ever
I
burn?
took showers with Summer.
You took showers with Summer. Okay. Did you ever see him act any way like abusive towards Summer?
No, I can honestly say that Donnie was Summer.
Did you know that Don told Molly Golightly that he did take showers with Summer?
No, I did not know that.
There's a video recording of it. Of him saying he did.
I didn't know that.
Hold on a second. Can someone, can anyone get a video recording of that? If that did happen, did take place? Like I said, I don't know much about the case. If that did take place, let me ask you a question, Candace. If that did take place, and you see a video of him saying that, how are you going to feel?
I'm gonna flip the fuck out, man. I'm gonna flip the fuck out for real.
So if you hear a video of him saying, "Yeah, I took a shower with Summer,"
I'm gonna fucking go off. I'm gonna. Ooh. Nobody better have bail money.
Well, you can't get to him, obviously, now. Come on. You can't get to him. Now let me ask you a question with this. If that is true, are you going to call him in jail on his little machine there? What would you say to him? What would you say to him?
No, I'm gonna wait until he calls me tomorrow, and then I'm gonna unleash something that's never been unleashed before.
Really?
Yeah, because that is unacceptable.
These people in the chat.
Don't play with me, dude. Do not play with me.
Listen.
Do not.
Listen, look at this. Melanie, read across the screen, Candace. I won't lie to you. Read it. There's a reason I asked that, because I know you didn't know about it. Read across the screen, Candace. Don did say that. I heard it too. He did say it a few times, yes. Don definitely said it. I heard him saying it. He did. Now, did she miss that? You see, I know you missed that. That's why I asked the question, Candace. You see? I'll let you talk now. But he did say it. If I had the video, he said it live on YouTube, Candace.
Fuck no, man. Fucking no.
Candace, they heard the interview. Look at this. All these people here heard it. He said he had to take showers with her because Candace wouldn't or didn't, and that is the biggest line of BS I've ever heard. He did it because he wanted to, is what they're saying. It's okay, Candace. You're not in trouble, Candace. You're the victim. I told you that at the beginning. I told you that. But it's up to you to unleash that, what you know. You see what I'm saying? It's okay. It's okay. Unleash what you know, Candace. Do it for your daughter.
One time, me and my friend Angelique were up there. In summer, she had this long dress on, and she was doing flips and shit, and you could see she had like this crusty shit on her vagina. Oh. And I flipped my fucking shit. Oh. I made pictures, take us back to my nana's, and I was like, I'm keeping Summer for the night. And I was like, fuck. And I would ask him, I was like, did Daddy hurt? You know, she would just like make a pouty face and shit. She wouldn't say nothing. And we were up there one time and they were drinking and crap, and he took all her clothes off, and he had boxers on, and he was just holding her naked. And then they went downstairs. And Candace was like, yeah, because Donnie sleeps naked, and I had to put a cover over him and move Summer into her bed. And I was like, what the fuck?
OMG. I'm so sorry, baby.
He's dead. He needs to be dead. Yeah, he does.
That they accused me of selling my daughter for gold. You know what I did? Fucking FBI accused me of selling my daughter for gold.
Apparently, he knows him from prison.
He knows Playboy from prison?
Right.
Don does?
Yes, that's how he knows him to start with.
That on separate occasions, Don Wells and Jody Sue's boyfriend, Andrew Bernard, would run off at night and be gone 3 to 4 days. According to Jody Sue, Don Wells would put his vehicle in neutral and sneak off the property and go to Knoxville. Check it out.
He would just sneak off in the night, and I'd know by the next morning. Candace would be like, hey, did you hear Don? And I'm like, yep. And we'd know that he would be gone. Yeah, it's just like Monster. He had his patterns too. And so in that way, we knew when each were doing their runoffs or whatever it was, you know, but yeah. But they were pretty open about it, plus everybody around the area knew. Voldemort especially thinks that Don killed Jose, and that's his white truck, by the way. And he has for a while, since before Summer witnessed. So, there's that. So, that monster believes your clients over there are very much capable. He also thinks that Don is a fucking child molester. He thinks that he is absolutely not just raped and molested Summer, but it's done so to the boys as well. So, and we've thought so since before the Utah trip, because of things going on over there. That's when I started actually looking into Dawn. And obviously throughout the years, Andy was the one that pinpointed Dawn as the one that was responsible for our own peeping Tom incident, where my own daughter was the same age as Dawn's sisters, conveniently enough, and the only little girl inside the hollow that we now think, was actually the target, not myself, of Dawn's creeping and peeping behavior. Also another truck and dogs in that incident that I can prove, by the way. I didn't just recently pull out of my ass, but even then I and other neighbors were talking about it and weird shit about the dogs. And and then the other day, if you're paying attention to any streams, Mary and them like, well, that's exactly how Dawn did us when we'd wake up, was, just siding at the windows and all this, especially as we got older. But, even for Andy being the type of, he has always maintained that Dawn's a fucking monster. But we started getting word that, the older ones were touching each other and inappropriately touching things, and then they turned it on Dawn right there with one of the last DCS cases, and that, because the one was angry as fuck at Daddy there. But that wasn't really true, because there was a little girl on the hill at the time. And we started thinking the fucking worst after another DCS case was open, and that's when I really started looking into Dawn. That's when I knew well before he ever come back from Utah that his oldest son was a fucking pedophile. And the chances were where one pedophile is, multiple fucking are, but then there's still no proof Dawn really is. And then his sisters come out after Summer's missing, and we know. You know why I was sitting on the bank all them nights, Keys? You want to know? It wasn't just because of the fucking one monster we thought, because I still thought, man, two things can exist at once. A stranger come in here and took that fucking baby girl. But also not just that, but here's Dawn living beside of us and is a fucking predator, because I never discounted his fucking sisters. So I had to live beside that shit every day, wondering if some motherfucker trapped inside Ben Hill without any real way to get to his usual crack habit down in Knoxville, his runoffs, and all these other things. Well, certain types of monsters that can't get one fix and try to get another. Well, guess whose little girl's the only one left in there? Mine. So, to me, he wasn't getting anywhere near mine. If it was a last hurrah, if he ended up killing himself so he didn't get fucking arrested, whatever else. But, there's part of why I sat on that bank too, why I walked them, why I sat outside my fucking cabin, why I didn't get sleep, and all them predators they did fine, whatever. Why you continually hear me mention Dawn's little footsteps at the gravel at night, and why I was so worried about him when I cataloged him. But I'll tell you, that monster believes your clients there are absolute monsters. However, it didn't keep him from commingling over there. And, but I bet he didn't give you the real reason he was over there, did he? Bet you don't have real proof of that like I do you, Keys? Because you were lied to about when the last time he was there was, and why.
Do you know if the guy that came with Dawn was the same person each time? Yeah, she said it was always the same guy. She didn't say whether... She didn't know his name, but she said she really never knew his name, really. She didn't know, she didn't describe him in any way. I mean, she said there was a younger guy. He was younger than Dawn. Or Donnie, if she called him. So... And one reason she learned Donnie's name is because he was a regular, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She said that they didn't have a lot of drugs running in and out of there, so there wasn't a lot of traffic that they would be delivering to other people to, just spend elsewhere.
What you're seeing here is it's communications from Andy to, Jody to someone else, right? Now, in this, it says Andy was locked up with a few years ago. Anyway, he came in for tires today. He recognized Andy, chatted, etc. Right? Andy says he was a bit funny acting though, etc. Anyway, at the end, he asked Andy to come to the van. Now, maybe Andy didn't work on the van, someone else did, and that another technician work the tire, and then he saw Andy and he invited Andy over, and so Andy never actually had any contact with that van up until the point that Stoney was asked Andy Bernard on over to look at the van. He mumbled something about girls, then opened the door and told Andy to look. There were girls in the van, obviously being prostituted and scared to fucking death.
But see, I see John, because he would pass 207 up a lot of time going to Ed's every day.
And Ed Redmond, he's the one that would brag about getting the hookers from Knoxville.
Getting prostitutes from Knoxville comes
Which is very, very interesting, guys, when you put this all together, because you're thinking of all the ones that hang together and where Knoxville's coming up. Ed Redmond would brag about getting, you have heard him, he's bragged to you himself that he would get prostitutes, bring back prostitutes from Knoxville.
Well, he would have prostitutes come see him from Knoxville. He didn't say whether he went and got them or what.
He would have
they would come and see him from Knoxville.
They would come and see him from Knoxville. And this is somebody who Don was working for the week before Summer went missing. And also is mentioned in this obituary of John Smith's recently. You guys are going to see all these people tied together in this Knoxville connection. I can't help but, it's not my fault that it's so noticeable and hard to not see. Like, Andy can get mad all he wants, but, like, I don't know what to...
I feel like several ties in that holiday, you know.
Yeah.
That links back to that.
To Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
Go look at the obituary. Pull up John Smith's obituary. Not the one that's posted here on YouTube. The one that states his best buddies. Exactly like Fred said. Ed Redmond.
Like, do you care to explain why you were at John's today? Because you didn't have a grant, and so there's only one other reason, and it's called dope. He goes, didn't go. I call bullshit. Knew better. And make no mistake, he was banging a stall there as well. It's right across the road. But anyway, yeah. There was some funky shit up.
That's probably also how Rose went missing. It probably is all related, you know. And it's kind of weird how there's a lot of, offenders in that family. And then we have Rose Bly go missing. We have Summer going missing.
Fred Hill was arrested yesterday. So, custody status date as of June 13th, 4 p.m. Eastern. So, he was booked in at 4:41 p.m. Eastern, Hawkins County Jail. That's his mugshot.
Today marks 2 years since a little girl in Tennessee vanished from her rural home. Her name is Summer Wells. Sheriff declined an interview in the case. He did email us, though, saying he expects an update on the case in the near future.
He expects an update on the case in the near future.
Hey. Okay, cool. Is it just a selling charge? Is that what it is, or is it manufacturing?
Do what?
Did you have a selling charge?
Well, it's maintaining dwelling with selling, I don't know if it's 0.5 grams or 0.50 grams times 2.
Or dial 1 now to be connected to an operator. To repeat this information, press 0. Your free call will now be connected.
Hey. Fred. Hey. And real quick before we get cut off, what's going on? Anything you need me to tell anybody?
I just think lawyers to send some money to you so you can move it to them accounts. They got all my stuff locked down, said I was under investigation over 2 murders.
What? You're under investigation under 2 murders?
That's what they're trying to say.
What the fuck?
I don't know what they're even talking about.
Oh my god.
You mentioned Summer Wells, so I did want to ask any updates on that case from your perspective or from the TBI standpoint, or...
Well, I'm glad you asked. It is still an open and active investigation. I think most people think that the case has gone cold, but that's not true. We still have agents working on it constantly. We follow up on any new information that comes in. I can say that we've been following up on information that we've received in the last few months. We've been following up on information that we've received in the last few months.
Information that we've received in the last few months.
Did your lady of the night identify someone with a photo? Yeah, Andy Bernard. I mean, you know, I've always said I was going to come see Fred when he got out of jail. So, you can say hi to Fred real quick. Fred came to stay too. He stays at he has to stay at a house, guys. Fred went to transitional housing in Knoxville, and he had run into somebody that was there, you know, from the area that claimed to know Playboy and stuff, and then, you know, and that's why Fred talked to Hawkins County, and that's why he gave him his phone, because of his conversations with that person about who was claiming that they had seen Summer Wells even.
I mean, he even had recordings of supposedly Summer talking about Dawn and stuff, and actually Playboy talking and stuff too.
That's what this guy claimed. Who knows? You know what I mean? So,
I mean, there was some of it was sent to my phone that was.
And this guy claimed that Playboy unalived his dad. I did look up the background of this guy. This guy and his dad is deceased as of 2022.
And see, the same guy was a Smith that was
Yeah, last name is Smith, just like
the recordings and stuff.
Andy's family. But, you know, Smith is such a common name,
But when we researched him, there was some Bernard to come up on it.
Yeah, Bernard was connected to him. I don't know. It's hard to look at. And I guess when law enforcement looked into this guy, when Fred went and turned in the info, they found him right away. And because Fred hadn't talked to him for a while, he was keeping a regular contact, and then he just disappeared. We're like, figured he got scared or something and backed out, because I was like, are you sure this guy is going to go through with this? This is scary stuff. Like, he claims to be Vice Lord affiliated, and like.
But see, the next week after the data was turned in, they sent special tactics and stuff in, and marshals from Texas and stuff to Knoxville, and two certain.
There was a big bust like right after that. We don't know if that.
Been released.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, but
we don't know if she was.
They know, law enforcement doesn't give you. They don't tell you if your information ever helps with anything, unless you're like, there's reward money or something. I imagine, but well, gosh, look at even. No, they want to take the credit for everything. Just
That's one reason I think they're not offering a reward for Summer now. You know, the TBI and stuff, because they got pretty much everything they need.
They probably know what happened, or they're just trying to.
I mean, just a couple more puzzle pieces together. I think 2.
Yeah.
Being close to maybe discovering something and just knowing that we just need a little bit more information to resolve a certain situation.
That's why I say 2 vehicles, you know, they're trying to, my opinion.
The 2 vehicles, the white HHR and dark blue truck. Did the truck have a back seat?
No.
So it was just a single cab, dark blue truck.
Windows
tinted.
Black. I mean, you couldn't see in other than through the windshield, and there's 2 people that was in there.
Yeah, you could see that there was 2 people in there, but you couldn't see any details at all.
You couldn't tell whether they men, women, or colored, or
Yeah.
white, or whatnot. The windows were so tinted.
We can just figure out who's, but the blue truck and the white HHR, that would put a big step up in the case, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially that blue truck.
Yeah, the blue truck.
Well, both of them.
The blue truck was on camera, but it never showed the tag number nowhere. And the windows was so dark tinted and them up that you couldn't even see in. You could see that there was 2 people in it from through the windshield, but you couldn't tell if they was who they was or not.
Right, so, and that's probably was on purpose, so nobody could see.
Most likely. But see, the white HHR was never on camera that I know of anywhere. But why did it sit there 3 days up to summer going missing every day for 3 days? And why did Journey say that Candace was packing a suitcase for summer 3 days and stuff? Kids don't lie, you know?
Oh, right, yeah. The halfway house, which is that there was somebody there who claimed to know who Playboy was, and also they claimed to have actually seen Summer Wells themselves and know where she's at, and that she's alive, and that she thinks she's 9 years old, and that she still goes by Summer, and that her dad still comes and sees her every 2 weeks. Like, this is the stuff this guy was claiming, so of course we had to turn it in. It was a guy that was in there when he first got in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you remember that time that Fred went to Hawkins County and had his phone dipped, it was because of that whole situation. Because they had text messages on that phone, and yeah, this guy seemed completely fine with law enforcement being contacted and everything too. He knew, he was completely aware that everything, like Fred was going to turn everything into law enforcement, and he claimed like that his dad died at the hands of Playboy, and so in a way, like something to do with Playboy. And his dad, I did look into it, and his dad is deceased, but I don't know how. I didn't find that information. But that's what this guy claimed. It was kind of, I don't know. There was a lot to it. This was over a long period of time, like over a couple, well, not long period, but like a month or so. They found him, law enforcement found him. He was in a rehab center. But I don't know if they talked to him or not. But they were able to find out where he was. He claimed it's like a heavily armed place, and
well, there was 3 different motels. They were supposed to be making children from 2 motels and 2 different houses off Alcoa and Cherry Street, main road.
Yeah, he was.
Into Hawkins County, and I had my phone dipped and stuff. They had me to identify a few people and said that the one that I got the information from, and a couple other people, and we went over maps and stuff of locations that where the motels were supposed to be on. Let's see, the following week they sent marshals and I can't think what other unit. They called it a training exercise that they was going to do in Knox County, but what it was, they went into certain motels and got several children, but the children's names never been released yet.
Let's say they did find somebody that they have to, it's a process like that they have to identify the person too. Like they'd have to get, like, let's say somebody, if they found her, they probably wouldn't even say anything at first.
Well, there were 22 children that was got from certain motels in Knox County. Details he was going into and stuff. I mean, a lot of it was matching up with other things we knew.
Yeah. And it was just...
Supposedly, though, Summer wasn't actually supposed to went and stayed. She was just supposed to be held for collateral for a certain amount of time, from what I gathered. And then, from what I'm understanding, where the case went big, it just changed the whole ballgame. And they're worried about, they don't know what data I have turned in and how much information I have turned in to TBI and law enforcement. And that's why Don was coming to the house and you couldn't get rid of him after someone went this and won't know exactly what I had seen, what I turned in, what I told the law. And the TBI every day coming and asking every day if I told them anything different, if I this, and all that was to try to keep one step ahead of the game.
Yeah. And that's what Andy's doing right now. And you're making it just more awkward, Andy, because now we're just going to get it.
Someone asked me if, I seen Andy on the road and stuff, and that was just to find out.
Don, yeah, that's right. Don did ask Fred straight up. Don Wells asked Fred if Don had seen, Don Wells asked Fred if Fred had seen Andy on the road. Yeah. And when was that?
That was the first day.
He asked you that like just right after Summer went missing? Yeah. Are you fucking serious?
Yes, but I didn't think nothing of it at the time.
Oh my God. Why was Don asking Fred the next day after Summer went missing asking Fred if he had seen Don on the road? That's fucking weird, don't you think, Andy? Why would Don ask Fred that? Huh. What kind of weird shit did you and Don have going on? See, you distracting us doesn't make it any better for you, because now we're freaking now we are talking about you. Before we were reviewing Killer Look's video, and it happened to talk about you or your son, you get mentioned. And we were just going to move on. But now, you got our attention.
I just wonder if the Smith that was in Knoxville who got the information for me is even kin to Andy.
Yeah, the person that was turned into law enforcement that Fred was talking to, they were a Smith. But that's like a really common name, so yeah. I mean, I feel like Andy's a very, very little part in this big, big thing.
I feel like when his son went to the Army, they thought it was because he went to the Army, eyes to get off of him.
Yeah. Well, he said F y'all.
Well, if he's saying he wasn't on the road on the 14th, Andy, who was the blue truck that followed you out then?
You mean on the 15th?
15.
Oh yeah, the day Summer went missing?
If he trying to say it was on the 14th, which I know it wasn't, still, who was the blue truck that followed you out? Who was the blue truck you met? Tell me that.
All the things to destroy Summer's case, and everybody around it witnesses. Even Monster, he's one that destroys no goddamn children in their capacity as witnesses. He could ride stands easily. He don't care as long as it pays him enough to get dope for him and his fucking whore. Does he? Do you think that's just me saying it? No. Look at the landlord. Look at others saying he could turn violent. He was acting out because he was used to it. Because Hawkins lets him fucking buy with him.
Hawkins lets him fucking buy with him.
Dennis James Samuel Smith.
He talked like it was Vice Lord affiliated, all of it.
He's talking about the guy at Knoxville who had claimed to have known Playboy and be affiliated with the Vice Lords. He claimed that Don had been visiting Summer every 2 weeks or something like that.
Who did Don and Andy owe a drug debt to?
All I know is his name was Playboy, went by Playboy.
That's when it first started coming out, is the Lady of the Night. That's when the first, and then when Fred was in jail, the writing on one of the jail cell walls about something to do with Vice Lords and some weird that they came in and painted over it. Law enforcement came in, took pictures, painted over it, right?
I started learning about the Vice Lords when I was in jail. I didn't know nothing about the Vice Lords even being around nowhere in the area, you know?
Yeah, and
I mean, I got a lot of information off the cell wall on 104 on B-Pod.
That's 104 B-Pod is where the jail cell number that writing was on, that mentioned, that had some kind of...
a lot about Summer.
Somebody had written on the wall stuff about Summer Wells and the Vice Lords.
All kinds of pictures and stuff, and stuff.
Just, yeah. Just got here, I have said that I know a lot about this case, and Breonna Tester was a Vice Lord. That's crazy if that's true. I've been saying that I know that Breonna Tester is my cousin, and Don was the one who picked her up in Knoxville. Andrew Hiltz calls Hunter Playboy. Oh, really? Because Playboy is a symbol for the Vice Lords. Candace also had a Playboy bunny tattoo. And also, so did, come to find out, Bill Shipley. I don't know if that means anything, but that's a common tattoo, I would think. I used to have a Playboy bunny myself.
We did talk to somebody about that place up there next to Bristol Motor Speedway. See, it's supposed to be like a castle. That compound.
Yeah.
That Playboy's supposed to own, probably part of it too. And
yeah.
That's outside of Bluntville. But Dennis was the one dropped that one girl off up there.
Oh, yeah. This guy named Dennis was talking about something like that, some weird place out in the middle of, by Bristol, like that.
Next to Bristol Motor Speedway.
That he was saying something about how they had guns and...
Yeah, it's a fenced off, and it's like a castle, but they got armed guards and stuff around.
Yeah. That's...
Some girl needed to ride back there or something. That's how he knew about it. Give her a ride back there from somebody.
Is she a prostitute or something, or escort?
But supposedly they just would sell them girls out and stuff to people during the race at Bristol Motor Speedway when they had a race at Bristol 2 times a year. I think it was in March and another one in August or October.
So we were all basically just picked up and just wanted to get out of New York because we kind of don't like the way New York runs. So we just wanted to get out of New York, and Tennessee was the halfway point for some of us and a stay point for some of us.
So all of you guys went down there, and did you make plans to stay at the Wells, or how did that all come up?
No, actually no. What came about is that NASCAR was in Bristol that same weekend we left, and we didn't know it. Well, that same week, and we didn't know it. So, given Kingsport's on that border of West Virginia and Tennessee, all the hotels and whatnot were taken off.
We were talking about a place that had a helicopter landing, and it was like castle, and it do weird ritual stuff.
I don't know whether they done rituals or whatnot there. My understanding, it was just somebody prostituting a bunch of women out to racers and stuff that was coming in out of town and stuff.
She said that her friend was left, a woman named Diamond who worked at the Miles' ear, that went by Diamond, stage name, I'm assuming. And she goes, we'll just call this my friend Ruby. So I don't know if that was her stage name or if that, where she came up with Ruby. It just may have been made up. And she said she met this girl and they went to a party. They were in the drug scene and stuff. They were strippers, obviously. And her friend Diamond took her to this hotel, and that's where she met Playboy. They started partying. Her friend just left her there for her drug debt. And Don Wells used to frequent this girl, allegedly, and supposedly gave her a ride away from that place to basically escape. Killer Looks, he got arrested sleeping in a car in Knoxville for trafficking and died later.
Killer Looks, I've seen some of your videos. You're very punctual. I'll say that. You're very, very punctual.
Besides hearing it from YouTube, did you ever hear a mention of Playboy, come up?
I know who Playboy is.
You think you know?
Or was.
Somebody's trying to. The person, DJ Smith.
Well, okay, so there's have you ever heard, Fred? Have you ever heard of a guy named Okay, let's just say this. His last name is Holt, Holt.
Holt.
No.
Holt.
No, I've never heard of him. No Holt.
Okay.
Holt. There's Smith, the contact from Knoxville, claimed that he knew Playboy, and but claimed that there was actually technically multiple Playboys, whatever that means.
Supposedly it was two different ones, a light skin and a dark skin. But
yeah, a lot more has happened than even you guys even know. Fred was when he was in Knoxville, which is so strange that that's where he was placed. There's a lot of weird coincidences that's happened. It's so insane. I don't even understand how, Fred just ends up in Knoxville to do the halfway or the transitional thing that the court ordered. And of all places, he gets placed in Knoxville. And then there's this guy there who claims to be affiliated with the Vice Lords and claim to know a man by the name of Playboy, who also claims to have information on Summer Wells. So just a bunch of weird coincidences like that. And then, just to go there and this person claimed to know Playboy and stuff. And
that's why I had my phone dipped and stuff.
yeah, and that's why Fred turned in his phone and stuff. So we're just hoping that they were able to get a hold of that guy, because Fred showed him, the conversations of him claiming to know where Summer Wells was, claiming to have even seen her. And he claimed, they were.
Don's name up and Andy's name.
Yeah, he brought up Andy's name and Don's name without Fred bringing it up, so it's very just strange. We don't know what to think, Of course.
Now he's being looked. They're trying to find him now. He's been running in, I think, 5 counties that are looking for him.
So he's running now?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Been running.
I thought they found him in the rehab.
I thought they did, but I don't know. I know they're looking for him. He's running.
I hope he didn't run because of them looking for him in the Summer Wells, for Summer Wells info.
I feel like.
Now that the guys.
He may have got scared and took off.
Ain't got nothing to do about accusing or thinking or anybody in any spite anywhere. Y'all all Gucci, I'm Gucci. Who took this kid? Paul Poodle. Why should I point him in that direction? So he wasn't just gathering when he hunt. Everybody's a motherfucking suspect. Till he ain't.
Scooby fucking Doo. If not for those pesky meddling kids.
Back to what I do. Catfish, Billy, baby, hello, how are you? You're my 9 rappers like a power line, fell into a swimming pool. I think I got the whole crew. Ooh, let me know what y'all wanna do. I bought a 30 pack of Creek water, baby, boo. Not a 99, not a 99.99, not mine. I got 100 proof.
They're gonna be sorry they were ever born. Who? All of them.
Soon as we step out the cage, we raising all of the stakes. Make no mistake, either you stay in your place or we putting you on a plate. Look at our face, we put the fear in the dirt. We had to struggle for change, pick up the pace. We put in infinite work, that's why we stay getting paid. Y'all running late, we moving on to the next. You still been stuck in the phase, there's no debate. We draw the line in the sand, we say it straight to your face. They underrate, till we put the team on our back. We took the city to state, what it's gonna take. Another S on our chest, another beat in the grave. We in the we always switching it up. They can't predict what we say. Come out the cave. They see the blood on our shirt. They see the teeth in the face. They watching tape, still trying to figure us out. They think we came here to play. They sending snakes. They trying to give us a curse. They want us taking the bait, but that's okay. We keep on dodging the bull. We keep on saying Olay, blocking the way, thinking we flipping reverse, but we keep rushing the gate, stopping the rain. We know they sit on the throne. It's looking easy to take. We not afraid. We put the fear in their bones. Ain't no more.